Hi, Roz. Okay, good to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm excited that you're all here. I'm just going to make sure I've got my all my notifications off so we don't get disturbed. So I am so excited that you're here. I've worn my flowers especially for you to get me in the festival feeling. And yeah, the idea of today is really to give you the tools that I use to kind of DIY a mindset shift when we start to feel that we're blocked in a certain area. Just sort out my mascara. You know, how can we get around that? How can we get around ourselves when we know that we are blocking ourselves? So I'm going to give you some, if you've got pen and paper, that's great. I'm going to be giving you some of the kind of journal prompts and exercises to do, which honestly are very, very powerful. And people have said, a previous participant has said that she has come back to them time and time again. And really, the more you take on board from this, so the more you make notes and you write down and you set an intention and make a decision to come back to this, the more transformational it will be. So really, these are powerful tools, and they're not, you know, they're not unique to me. I haven't invented this stuff. This is like a lot of coaches out there are talking about the same thing. I've put them together in a certain way, and I'm also offering some inner child healing, which I was taught by Marissa Peer. And this is a really, really powerful intervention, which I use in all my hypnosis healing sessions. I think Lindsay is the only one who's here who's experienced that in a session, but they're pretty powerful. So I'm excited. You might actually, some others may have been here for the masterclass previously and experienced it before. And Lindsay says yes, very powerful. Good. Okay, so I'm going to crack on because I've got a lot to get through, and I am the kind of person who talks a lot, and I need to be disciplined. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Fabulous. Thank you. Good. Let's make that full screen. Okay. And put you back up there. Okay, so here we are. There you are. Okay, so the idea of this masterclass, the title is Evolution Over Ego. And this is really because my whole purpose in doing what I do is to help people to get beyond the ego, which is the part of ourselves that keeps us safe and small, and evolve into the enlightened human beings that we are all actually underneath the facade. We have all of us are, I believe, as a Buddhist, beginninglessly enlightened human beings, and we have such great potential in terms of what's possible for us in our lives, but we're fighting the ego, which wants to keep us small. So the idea behind this and all of the work I do is helping people to unpick that need for safety from the ego in order to evolve so that we can serve humanity. So AKA how to realize your full potential and impact the world in your business without succumbing to the boring old BS beliefs that have been keeping you stuck. So yeah, really can change everything. Let's crack on. So I believe that you're here because you're really good people and you want to make a difference and help people. And really, deep down, you'd like to change the world in a little way or in a big way. And I'm here to encourage you, lovingly nudge you towards a slightly bigger expression of that way that you could impact the world. You know, because it's, again, I believe it's the ego that might keep the vision kind of small, because that's safe, isn't it? So, oh yeah. So you want to change the world, but who relates to this? Some days, does it ever feel like you can't even change yourself? Can we just switch our, can we just go on to mute? Would you mind just muting yourselves, ladies? Thank you. Thank you. So does anyone feel like this tracked over, like the sludge that is our own minds, our own beliefs that are just kind of keeping us stuck? Some days it really feels like that, right? I know I'm not alone in this, like that we are the things that are holding us back. And it can really feel like, how am I going to make a difference in the world? So we end up procrastinating, and it can often feel like we end up back where we started, because I know you all know this, beliefs control behavior, really. And the beliefs are formed in childhood between 0 to 7. So we're effectively in hypnosis between 0 to 7. We're just downloading the operations manual of how to be a person in our family, in our community, in the world, so that we don't get rejected, so that we don't, because we need that. The most important thing as children is to be accepted, so that we're safe. So we download this kind of between 0 to 7, we're effectively in hypnosis, downloading this set of rules subconsciously, which become our beliefs, which then control our behavior. So everything that we do today as adults is a result of the beliefs that we have. And a whopping 95% of our behavior is controlled by our subconscious beliefs on average. So this is the work of Bruce Lipton, who's got these figures, really amazing. If you're not familiar with his work, I recommend you check him out, Bruce Lipton. And he says 95% of our behavior is controlled by our subconscious beliefs. So this is like autopilot, the things that we think, the things that we do without thinking. How often do you end up doing something and you think, how did I end up doing this? And you're kind of not aware of it because you're on autopilot. So actually, if we want to change what we do, we actually have to change who we think we are. We have to change our beliefs about ourselves. But the good news is, it doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't have to be hard. You are a limitless human being. Really, all of you are. We all are. We're limitless human beings with infinite potential. And it's time to activate that potential. So let's get started. If you've got your journal, if you've got pen and paper, I really, really, really want for you to consider this question. And you will have been asked it hundreds of thousands of times. And it's so simple. But why do we sometimes struggle with this question? Why do we sometimes not know the answer to this question? What is it that you want? What do you want? So just take a moment to really consider that. What do you want? Let's get specific about that as well, because, it's one thing saying, I kind of want more money. But then to say, okay, I want to make, I don't know, if I want to make $10,000 a month, that's a bit more specific. And the things move to support you when you get specific about what you want. And if you say, I kind of want, I want more time with my family. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do specifically? So really, this is about details. What would you be, do, and have if there were no limitations? If you look back at this first question, what do you want? And whatever came to your mind, if you consider now through the lens of, like, think about, were you limited? Were you kind of filtering what you wanted because you thought, oh, well, maybe I'm not really allowed that, or that's not really realistic, or that's not something that so-and-so would want me to do, or there's numerous ways that we do this. We limit ourselves. What I'm asking you to do is to consider what you want with no limitations. And often it's money, isn't it? Often we don't allow ourselves to go window shopping in the world, in our lives, for the kinds of experiences we want, because maybe we feel like that would be too painful because we can't get what we want, or but I'm asking you to do that. I'm asking you to really, just for fun, get playful and say, well, if there were no limitations, if I had all the money, whatever, however much, if money was no object, what would I do? And really, this is a question that can change everything. And it did change everything for me when I first was asked it by another coach. And so really, this question alone can change the trajectory of your life. When I was asked this question, when Rob and I sat down to really answer this question, okay, well, what do we want? And we listed everything that we wanted. We didn't even think about the money. We just kind of went to town and we said, yeah, we'll have an electric car, we'll have a detached house, we'll live here, we'll live in West Wales, and the children will go to this kind of school, and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They've all happened. It's all happened. And at the time when we were writing them, it felt completely absurd. So if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get it. And if you start to just say, be playful and say, well, okay, well, what if? Well, then maybe you're in with a chance. Okay, so here we are. Here are your tasks. I want you to make a note to do this afterwards, to write down everything. Write it all out. What would you be, do, and have with no limitations? So make a list, a long, long list. You can come back and add to this all the time. Whenever you think of something, just come back and pop it on your list. Then make yourself a vision board. Find photographs that inspire you. You can do this online. You could do it from magazines. Find pictures that ignite something in you, that light you up, that make you feel good. Because look, it says here, make a vision board. Important, include how it makes you feel. Because the feeling is the thing. We got to know what the feeling is. Because why do you want all of the things that you want? If you think about this whole list that you're creating of all these things you want, and what we really need to know is, why do you want that? If you want to have more holidays or more time with your family, why? Because it will feel good. Okay, more than good. Good's too generic. Because maybe you'll feel free, or maybe you'll feel connected. Maybe you'll feel relaxed. Maybe you'll feel loved, supported. Think about the words that you want to feel, and try to avoid the generic ones. Okay, they're a good starting point, but try and get specific. Think about really like how you want to feel in your body. I want my shoulders to be a bit more relaxed. No, really relaxed. I want my shoulders to be supple and soft. I want my muscles to be loose. I want to be free from tension. And use the present tense. I am free of tension. I am supple. I am slim. Whatever, I'm fit. All the feelings. So this is really, really important. Okay. We'll move on. Okay, now the next thing. So you can come back to that list. I want you to have that list somewhere really, really, somewhere you see it. Have it handy so that it's there. So you can, so you're familiar. I want you to get familiar with what you want. First of all, I want you to open up the playfulness. Like, okay, so what if I could have anything I want? And then I want you to have it there on your desk. I want you to really be intimately familiar with what you want and why you want it. The feelings, it's all about the feelings. That's why you want the thing. You know, maybe you want to have a fancy new car or an electric car or whatever, a camper van. Well, why? Because you want the freedom, because you don't want your car to be breaking down all the time. Why not? Because I want ease. Maybe it's about ease and not having to go to the garage all the time, not having to call the mechanic all the time. So think of those feelings, the ease, the flow, the abundance, whatever it is for you. And then I want you to ask for each of those things, what's stopping you? What comes up? What's the knee-jerk kind of response that you get when you say what you want? So is anybody feeling like they might like to share in the chat about what it is? Oh, sorry, I'm just reading a message. Is anybody feeling like sharing the thing that they want in the chat? I'd love to hear if you do, because you know what? When we give it a voice, the magic begins. Really and truly. It's powerful. It's very powerful to name the thing. Give it a voice. So drop it into the chat. And now, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from having that thing? So here we are. This is a really good, helpful prompt. I can't have a new car because what? We can't afford it. That's the classic one, isn't it? I mean, that's often the way. Something like that. What is it that you can't? I can't have, insert the thing you want because, and then you can just keep going. You don't need to reason with yourself at the moment. We're just, what we're doing here is we're giving the subconscious a voice. We're just creating space now for the resistance, the reasons why you can't have those things. We're giving them space to pop up. And the way to do this, to really like open the subconscious so that the reasons, the excuses why you can't have those things, so they can come out. So the way to do that is you can just free flow writing or journaling. Really just keep writing all the reasons, really go to town, let it all out. Or another way that's really nice to do this is orally. So with a friend or a coach or partner, you can just say, this is a really fun thing to do. You can just say 10 reasons why you can't have X, Y, or Z. It could be your health. It could be, I can't be healthy because whatever. And you just keep going 10 times without stopping, without thinking. So that's the key. That's the way of really accessing the subconscious, is that free flow. You don't pause. You just keep going, even if you don't know what to say, even if it sounds really silly, because there'll be a certain amount of conscious reasons, obvious things, like we can't afford it, or I don't have time, or there'll be all these conscious reasons that pop up. But when you exhaust the conscious reasons, then you'll open the door for the subconscious reasons to come in. Okay. So maybe it's some of these things. These are the classic reasons. These are the classic ways in which we stop ourselves. So maybe I can't be successful because I'm afraid. I mean, fear is really the thing that stops us from everything, isn't it? But what exactly are you afraid of? I'm afraid of, so this is when you just keep it coming. 10 reasons. I'm afraid of success because, boom, I'm afraid of success because, and I'm also afraid of success because, and see what comes up. And a lot of the time, it might be something that feels completely illogical or irrational, and it doesn't make any sense. Maybe one of my ones is, it will take me away from my children. I can't be successful because I'll be a bad mother. That's a classic one. Or I can't be successful because I might let people down. Money, maybe it's to do with money, because I don't have enough money. Maybe it's because you don't feel like you're worthy. You don't feel like you're lovable. I can never have a partner because no one will love me, or I'm unlovable, or I don't deserve it. Or maybe this is a really classic reason that a lot of people come up with, and it's just not available for people like me. And we have this idea, don't we, about people like me. What does that mean, people like me? But you see, because we get this from childhood, this has come from childhood. We believe that we're a certain kind of person, and things like success or money or a loving partner or a happy marriage, maybe we decide as a child that these things aren't available for us because that's what we've seen from our parents. So here we are, that's what I'm getting onto here. So the next thing that we have to do is to find the root cause. Are you with me, folks? Do let me know. Let me know if you've got any questions in the chat. So, okay, so we've discovered what it is okay, Joanna says with you, good. It's always good to get a little bit of confirmation. So we've discovered what it is that we want. We're pulling up we're giving a voice to the subconscious, which is just, that's why we do this like free flow writing, just to let everything out, or we do this repetition again and again and again, because repetition is a way to access the subconscious as well. So we say, I can't have it because, I can't have it because, I can't have it because, or I'm afraid of this because, and we do that many, many times. But then when we've got all those reasons why we can't have it, we want to know, where have these beliefs come from? Why do I have that in my head? Like, money's not available for somebody like me. So why do I have that belief in my head? We need to find out. So this is what I do in RTT sessions, and I'm giving you a DIY way of doing it. So you've got a list of all the so you've got the one thing, you pick one thing that you really want from the first thing, the thing like your priority. What do you really want to work on right now? You can come back and do this again, you can work through this process every single time you want to manifest something. So take the thing that you really want, pull up all the subconscious beliefs that say, hi, Eugenia, thank you. And thank you for saying I look gorgeous. I'll take that compliment. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. And I'll try and give a little recap of what you've missed, having just arrived. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. So you're pulling up, you're choosing what you want with no limitations. What do I want? If there is no limitation, then you're allowing all of the subconscious stuff to come up by giving space, by that repetition that we spoke about. And then for each of those BS beliefs that you pull up, we want to know, where's this come from? So in hypnosis, this is super easy. Your mind takes you exactly back to the root cause, but you can do it yourself as well. You ask yourself, okay, this is an interesting feeling of, maybe it's shame, like, oh, money is not available to me, maybe. Okay, so when have I felt like that before? And what you're looking for is your earliest memory of, say it's money not being available. When did you first feel like that? Or maybe there's a belief of like, I'm not worthy of good things, or I can't have what I want. This was something that my parents used to say. Because you see, like I said, 0 to 7, we're effectively in hypnosis. We're just downloading this operations manual. And one of the things that my parents said, my dad said on repeat, with the best will in the world, he's a very loving man, but this is what I think probably what his parents had said to him at the dinner table, with his finger up like this, wagging his finger. I want, don't get. I want, don't get. And he was trying to teach me good manners. But what happened is he installed a subconscious belief that I couldn't have what I wanted. Does anybody else get told that? I want, don't get? So I'll give you a moment to share if you have. So we pick out a limiting belief, and then we're going to list all the memories in which you felt that same belief. So if the belief is, I can't have what I want, which is what mine was, or what I want is not available to me, then I had to go back with a big double page of my journal, and I'd write the belief at the top, I want, don't get. And then I would go through and I would write any time in my life that I had felt like that. I want, don't get, or I can't have what I want. Really, and we're not looking for a full, we're not like, it's not a writing exercise. This is just, you know, as minimal words as possible to describe a moment in time when you felt that, when you experienced that feeling, that belief. And then I want you to ask yourself, whose words are these? Like mine, that I want, don't get. They are not my words, but they sank in to me. So they were the words of my dad, and probably they weren't even his words. I imagine that they were his parents, or even the parents before that. So notice that this isn't your belief. Oftentimes, this is directly downloaded from parents, or maybe teachers, or maybe someone else that you heard say these things as a child. Has anybody got anything coming up for them that they want to? Yeah, Eugenia, so true. I had so many of them from my parents. For example, if you don't wear this, if you won't behave like this, no one will like you. Oh, Wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had that, but I mean, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, what we're told as children. And actually, if we think about the reason that for the parents to say that, I'm a parent now, I'm a mom, I've got children. I want, well, particularly with my eldest, when she was little, I wanted her to do what I wanted, right? So it's kind of about manipulation or control. I'm better now, having done this in the training, in the therapy, and seeing the results of us enforcing certain things on our children. But yeah, you know, your parents were just, Eugenia, they're just trying to control you, right? They're just trying to make you wear something because they wanted you to wear it. And so they said, no one will like you, you know, and it's just they probably didn't think about it at the time, but look how it's gone in 38 years later, trying to gain acceptance of other people. Yeah, woof. So this stuff can you see how we're just running on old programming? Really, really. We've got these beliefs that we downloaded, just a direct boom download from our parents, from their parents, from their parents, from their parents. And it just goes on and on and on until we consciously change it. And that's what we're doing now. And that's what you're doing with these exercises. And I want to thank you for doing this, by the way, for being here and putting your energy into listening to me and playing with me in this. Because by doing this, we're actually changing the world for future generations. Really, we're the cycle breakers. You know, this stuff stops with us. So celebrate yourselves for that, really. If you've got children, but also if you don't have children, because we impact everybody, whether we like it or not. Nobody is, no man or woman is an island. We're all interconnected. So then when you've done this exercise, you've got your limiting beliefs, and then you've got, for each belief, you've got all the memories that brought up that belief, all the times in your life that you felt that. And I want you to look for any threads that tie it all together. And this is the narrative that you've created. Can you see that? This is the narrative that you've created about your life and your story and who you are in the world and what's available to you or not. Yeah. So how are you feeling, ladies? How's this going in? What's your insight here? What are you getting from this? I'd love to hear. I'm going to take a sip of water and give you a moment. It's a lot. I know it's a lot to take in. It's quite dense. And the great thing about this is there's so much here that you can work through it with start with one thing that you want, and then pull up all the beliefs that say you can't have it. And then for each of those beliefs, you do this next step. So it's like, it's a very kind of, there's a lot to it. But, you know, you're here for it. I know you are. You're dedicated and determined to being better in the world. And there is an easier way of doing this, which is in hypnosis. But this is the DIY way. And then when you've got this list of all the memories, all the times in your life that you felt this way, it's time to forgive. It's time to forgive. So I want you to go through each one of these memories. And I don't know why I haven't got a slide for this. I'm going to write it in the chat. So you go through each memory, and say, I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry. And thank you. So really say these. I want you to give voice to these memories. I want you to read them out loud. Read them to somebody you love, that you trust. And after each one, I want you to say, I love you. I forgive you. I'm sorry. And thank you. And the idea behind this is really we're discharging, we're taking away the negative charge in these memories. We're kind of neutralizing the memory. And sometimes we might not feel ready to forgive, depending on what's happened to us. Yeah, Eugenia, sometimes it's very difficult to identify beliefs that you can change them because you believe them to be truth. Yeah. Yeah. That is the difficulty. That's why I'm giving all these exercises, really. And just that repetition in the previous stage of really giving voice. Okay, well, if I just go back a second. I can't have X because this. So you just repeat that over and over again. Like the thing you want, you say, I can't have it because boom. Or you can do it positively. If I was successful then, and then say it 10 times in a row. If I was successful, then that would mean, and just repeat, repeat, repeat. And what you're doing then by that repetition, even if when you kind of run out of things to say, and then something will come out that surprises you. And there you have a subconscious belief popping up out of the blue. So then what might happen when you go back through all these memories, almost certainly, is not going to just involve yourself. It's going to involve other people. And really, it's important to heal the relationship. So there's lots of things you can do. You can write a letter to somebody that's hurt you, and you can explain why they've hurt you. This isn't a letter to send to them. This is a letter for you to express your voice, for you to speak the truth, to say what happened and how it impacted you. This is very powerful. This is you taking your power back, and you don't need to send it because energetically it will heal the relationship. You know, a lot of times when it's a parent, the parent is the strong one, you know, the parent's the controlling one. And it's like they're the repressive one and you're just a little child, and we can still behave like that even when we're adults. So what we're doing is, it's like, oh, you're just tipping the balance a bit here by putting your voice out there, and you don't need for them to hear it. I mean, if you want to have the conversation, if they're still alive and you feel like it would be possible and helpful, then by all means have the conversation, but you don't need to. Also, another thing you can do is you can journal a dialogue, so you can give a voice to the other person. You could write in a journal, Mom, you hurt me when you left me that time. And I was really upset because I didn't know where you were, blah, 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 blah. And then just take a moment in silence, tune in, and then imagine what your mother would say to respond to that. And then put M for mum and write her response there underneath yours. So, well, I left you there because I didn't have a childminder, or I was stuck at work and I couldn't get back to pick you up from kindergarten in time. It wasn't about you. I'm sorry, because the thing is, we as children always make everything mean something about me. because we're children, and that's what children do, right? We filter the entire world and make it mean something about me. But you know, this healing is about taking our power back, becoming adults, becoming responsible. And in order to do that, we have to see things from a less personalized perspective. We have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. It doesn't mean that your mum didn't love you because she was late for picking you up that time, but that's how we interpret it. And then we develop this wound around it, which impacts our behavior as adults, you know? Are you with me? Is this making sense for you people? So, who would like to experience this inner child healing? Would you like to experience the inner child healing? I'll just have another drink. Okay, good. So take a moment to just quiet your mind, land on your seat or wherever you are. Just try and put your distractions aside and just bring your full attention. This is very powerful when we really go with it. So I want you to imagine now, you're going to go back to the home in which you lived as a child. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open. Make yourself comfortable. Notice your breath. Relax your muscles. We're going to heal the inner child. So with your eyes closed or open, it's probably easier closed. I want you to picture in your mind's eye the home in which you lived as a child between the ages of 0 to 7. And your mind will know exactly which age to go for. So you see the home there before you, and you're approaching the front door. You put your hand on the door and open it, and you go inside and you find that everything is familiar to you. It's like you're really there. You've really gone back in time. And you notice all the familiar things and the smell of your home. And you're going to walk to the room in which you slept as a child. And you're walking there now. And you arrive at the door to the room in which you slept as a child. And the door's closed and you put your hand on the handle and you're about to open the door. And inside you will find, in just a moment, you'll find the child version of yourself. And she or he, I think all she here, she will recognize you and you will recognize her. She'll recognize you as the adult version of herself and you as the child version of yourself. And you'll have complete affinity. So open the door right now, open the door and see the child there, sitting on the bed or playing with some toys. And notice what age she is. Your mind will choose the right age for you. And notice how sweet she is. Look at her face. And there, sit with her. Sit with her and hold her hand maybe, or if she's very little, you could put her on your knee. And I want you to give her a cuddle and smell her hair and notice how gorgeous she is, how beautiful, how special. And you're going to ask her how old she is, and she tells you. And I want you to ask her if she's happy. You say, "Are you happy?" And she looks at you and she trusts you and she tells you the truth. And you tell her, and she knows that she's completely safe there with you now. And if for any reason that this home where you lived as a child didn't feel like a safe place or a happy place, I'd like for you to pick her up and take her to somewhere really special, really safe. And sit there instead. And I want you to ask her, what do you want more than anything? And notice what she says. And now I want you to see if you can give that thing to her. Whatever it is that she said she wanted, I want you to imagine you're giving it to her right now. Whatever it is that she didn't have, that she longed for, you can give it to her now. Because as children, we don't have choices, but as adults, we do. And I want you to pick her up into your arms, if she's small, or just hold her there. And bring her now into the home in which you live as an adult. Transport her into your home or another happy place, if for any reason your home isn't a happy place right now. And I want you to repeat after me. You live in my world now, and you're part of my world. This is where you live from today onwards. You're safe now. I'm upgrading you and showing you what's available to you now that wasn't available to you when you were a child. And take her by the hand and show her all around your home. Show her all the things you're proud of, your business cards maybe, your phone full of contacts of people who love you and photographs of people you love. Wow. All the technology, television, Netflix, movies on demand. Wow. Tell her she can eat ice cream when she wants because she's an adult now. She can watch movies when she wants, all night long if she wants, because she's an adult now. Tell her she can, if you have a car, tell her you can go for a drive because you're an adult now. Tell her she's no longer a dependent child, dependent on the adults around her, but now you are the adult. You are the independent adult, free to make the choices that you want to make in life. So if you feel like doing this, please do wrap your arms around yourself. This is a nice thing to do. Wrap your arms around yourself, give yourself a hug and say, I'm becoming a loving parent to you now. No one can play this role like I can. I love you just the way you are. I love you completely and unconditionally. I'll always have time for you. I'll always listen to you. I've created a space in my heart and in my life for you. You'll always be safe. You'll always be significant. You are unique. You are amazing. You are enough. You're smart. You're funny. You're clever. I love you so much. And anything else that you really needed to hear, say it to her now. What has she spent her whole life waiting to be told? I love you unconditionally. My favorite job is to be your mom or your dad, if that's what you needed to hear. To be your parent. That's my favorite job. You're here for a reason. You're here to make a difference. You matter. You're enough. And now that you've put the child into your world, she can never go back. She's safe now. Not even in your dreams. So every time you're driving your car, you can tell yourself, I'm driving a car because I'm not a child. Or you're using a credit card. I'm using a credit card because I'm not a child. Or staying up late, sleeping in late, choosing what to watch on TV because I'm not a child. And now I want you to picture that sweet little girl, that gorgeous little child, just hovering there above your head. Just see her, so sweet. See her little face just hovering there in her body. And then I want you to take a deep breath. And as you exhale, she starts to drop down, descending down, merging into your body, merging into your life, merging her heart with your heart. Feel that child fully merged within you now and know that she's never going back. Because the child, the little you, is taking residence in you as an adult. She's safe now. She's just had a massive upgrade into your life. The past is behind her and behind you. The past is being cleansed, shattered, smashed away. You cannot ever go back and relive the past now, not even in your dreams. So just take a minute, maybe take a couple of really deep healing breaths. And every time you exhale, just exhale any childish tendencies, knowing that it's safe for you to be an adult. It's safe for you to take responsibility. It's safe for you to make a difference. Know that you're enough. Know that you're meant to be here. You're here for a reason. You matter. You are significant. You're talented. You're beautiful. You're lovable. One final deep breath. Breathe it all in, knowing that you're here for a reason, knowing that you're going to make a difference on earth. And the world is grateful for your presence. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Come back to us. Let me know if you're still here. And how you are, if everything's okay. How you're feeling. How was that? It can be moving, it can be emotional, it can be releasing, it can be full on. So do let me know how you are, please. And and know that I'm here. If anything came up that you would like support with, please do contact me afterwards. I'm here for you. Irene is saying it was lovely. Good. So, Eugenia is saying so beautiful. Good. Good. Now, back to the task at hand. So, what we need to do, we've seen what to do, the steps so far. You choose what you want. You pull up the resistance, the subconscious resistance. You look at your life and you say, where have I felt this before? And you list all the times in your life that you felt those things. Then you go back and you forgive. You forgive and you cut the cords to the past. You can imagine taking a big pair of I like to imagine big metal scissors and just chopping any cords that tie you to events or people. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but that is not going to impact me anymore. No, 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 no. You can find nice cord cutting meditations on YouTube or online. There's plenty of them. And now you've got the steps, you see, and you can go back and watch this again, and pause it and work through it, you know, when you want to work on one particular vision or belief. So now this is the thing, right? This is the thing. We have to make what we want and how it feels to get what we want familiar. And we have to attach pleasure to it as well. So we have to, it's not enough to have, on the vision board, I'm looking behind the camera because my vision board is right there. So it's not enough to have a picture of the house that you want. It's good and it's a great start, but really what we want is, we want to know the feelings. I feel free. I feel spacious. I feel whatever it is, whatever the feelings are, we want to attach pleasure to them. We want to make what we want feel good, because so much of the time we make it feel bad because we spend our lives thinking about how we don't have what we want or how we'll never get it, and then we don't get it. So if we start to just suspend the disbelief and just say, what if? Well, what if? How would it feel if I did? You know, how would that feel? It feels good. And you say it in the present tense. So there on your vision board, I make 10,000 a month consistently in my business, and it feels safe, and it feels like a relief. I feel ease, abundance, I feel in flow, I feel soft, I feel feminine, whatever it is. Make it familiar and spend. Here's the thing, right, that we may forget to do, and you know, for me, this is a big sabotage of mine because I know how to do this. This is what I do with clients all the time. What I do is I make them a recording to listen to, a hypnosis. So they listen to their recording for half an hour every day. So they set aside that time, and we have that kind of contract. You know, they know that they've come to me to have this transformation, and therefore they're going to do the work. Okay, but if you're not paying me now for this, all this stuff, you're less likely to actually do the thing, right? But what would happen if you just made the decision as if you had just paid me thousands of dollars or pounds? You know, how would you show up then to this transformation? Would you be able to dedicate 30 minutes a day to visualizing your new way of being? I mean, you could do what I do. You could make yourself a recording. You can make yourself a recording that's talking about having the things you want and how it feels to have them. And you could set aside 30 minutes a day. You could set yourself a reminder. You do it just before bed or when you wake up. It feels good. it feels so good to have the thing I want. I feel spacious. I feel joyful. I'm just reading mine. I feel in service to others. I feel sexy. I feel loved. I feel connected to nature. I feel like a good mother. Like, these are all the feelings. And then you pepper in the feelings and the thing, the things you want to have, the things you want to be, the things you want to do. And make a commitment with yourself to make it familiar with your vision board. Make yourself a recording. Watch like interviews of people who've done the thing. Read books about people who've done the thing. Spend time with people who are manifesting similar things or already have manifested. That's the best thing, you know, because we tend to be a kind of average of the people we spend time with the most, right? So if you want to achieve something that's like really sky high, you're going to have to find people who are more operating on that same kind of in service to a big thing like you. And if you don't have access to those people, you can even imagine it. I do this sometimes if I feel like, oh, I'm stuck. I need someone who's like the biggest blue sky thinker. And I just sit quietly and I imagine I'm having a conversation with Tony Robbins or whoever. You know, you can do it in visualization. It doesn't have to be real. Okay, so folks, how do I know all this? How do I know so much about the mind? Well, and also not just the mind. So it's about mind and it's about transformation and it's about achieving goals. Here, look, here's a great picture of me cycling to India. I don't know if you knew that I'd done that. I cycled to, this is Morocco, the one on the left, the photo on the left. This is myself and Maya, my friend. We cycled to Morocco. We cycled through the Atlas Mountains. Really wonderful adventures. And then on the right, this is me cycling to India. After I cycled to Morocco with Maya and another friend, Joe, I said, well, what next? What could I do? What else could I do? You know, and it's funny how the world works like that. We work like that. We achieve something and then we go, oh, so I could do that. What else could I do? So this is like, I am someone who goes for the extreme, for the big thing. And I did it. I cycled to India. I'm a Vajrayana Buddhist. These are my teachers, Nekchang Rinpoche and Khandra Dechin. And there I am in Bhutanese national dress for when we were celebrating the Tibetan New Year. I'm a rapid transformational therapist. This is when I trained with Marissa Peer in 2019 in London. I think that expression portrays the relief I felt at having finally finished the week intensive and received my certificate. And here are my lovely, lovely family. There's my darling Rob and my gorgeous girls, Scarlett and Edie. We live in West Wales. And really, I feel so grateful. I feel very lucky to have manifested this wonderful life and these lovely family. Now I work with people all over the world, and I'd love to tell you a little bit about, not for long, just for a few minutes, about the work I do. So all of this that I'm telling you now, these stages and these steps, we combine, we use all of these things. We use these stages and these are parts from the RTT sessions. And actually these results are the lovely Lindsay, who's actually on the call, or she was earlier. So if you're still there, Lindsay, you're welcome to comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to come on camera, you're welcome to do that too. But you might be busy, given that it's the morning and you're probably potentially having breakfast or something. So there she is. That's me. So these are your results. That's not a picture of Lindsay. I wanted to put a picture of Lindsay, but I wasn't sure if she'd be happy for me to have done that. But look, at the beginning, I hope you don't mind, Lindsay, but do feel free to comment if there's anything you'd like to add. But look at the scores before we. I always use this system of scoring. It feels very kind of rigid, but it's a way of measuring how things have shifted. So these are the beliefs or the behaviors on the left. I feel worthy of good things. So before we started, Lindsay scored it at a 2. And you can see how that shifted to a 10. At the beginning, she felt lovable. That was a 4, and now a 10 after 3 months. Looking after herself was a 0. She was not taking the time, making the time to look after herself. And after 3 months, she was. Feeling like too much trouble. This was a 9. She felt like too much trouble and didn't like to kind of put her needs on the table. But by the end of the time, it was a 0. Setting healthy boundaries again, that was a 1, and then it became a 10. This is an incredible result, really, and it's become the norm as well. It's not just Lindsay who's getting these kinds of scores. Really, this method is quite remarkable in transforming our beliefs. It really is remarkable. Look at this overall happiness. She said it was a 1. I mean, you would never have known that if you met her, because on the surface things seemed okay. Lindsay's saying the results have lasted in the car now. Wonderful. I'm so happy. This is I think it's a year ago that we began working together. And yeah, where was I? So overall happiness, and at the end a 10, and she's saying the results have lasted. So good. I'm so happy. It was such a delight to work with her. It's safe to be seen. So this is a big one. If you're a business owner, you need to be visible. You need to show up. You need to put yourself out there. So at the beginning, when I met her, she really wanted these things, and yet she didn't feel safe. And what we did in the RTT sessions is we went back and we looked for the root cause. The first month was on self-worth, and that all of the top category, that was the self-worth kinds of beliefs that we uncovered. And then we got to the visibility, the safe to be seen, the being authentic, freedom to express herself. And you can see that they're almost completely 1s and 2s and 0s. And then by the end, everything has shifted to 9s and 10s and an odd 8. But I would imagine that she might have, by now, that 8, there's an asterisk there. That was because I think she hadn't tested it properly because she hadn't been putting herself out there. But from what I hear, Lindsay, I think that things might have shifted a bit, and it might be more towards a 10. Yeah, so this method works. It's a very powerful way of shifting beliefs, and in 90 days, everything can change. Everything can change, and the ripple effects are just phenomenal, because your whole family will feel the shift in you. Your whole family, your partner, you know, you'll be more present with your children, more present with your with your lover, you know, or maybe you'll manifest a new love. This is happening more and more. It's a 10 now. Good, Lindsay. I'm so happy to hear it. Good for you. And this feeling of like, just do it energy. I love this, you know, like that was a 1. So there were all these things. You remember that picture, if you were here at the beginning, the picture of the tractor going through the sludge? There were all these things that were kind of holding her back from just doing it, like getting out there and doing it. And I'm hurt. Well, I wonder if it's gone to a 10 now, but after 3 months of working together, actually the 3 months was spread out in her case. She was at a 9.5. So really, this is a powerful method of shifting beliefs. And I'd love to invite you to ask yourself to imagine how results like that could impact you. How would they impact your business? How would they impact your family and your relationships? And the world, because that is what this is all about for me. You know, it's about you being happy. It's about each of us as individuals being happy, feeling enough, feeling filled up. Because when we feel filled up and connected, we shine. We're really like lighthouses, you know, and really, I don't know, I don't want to go into the situation in the world too much, but the world needs lighthouses right now, right? I know you agree. So look, I have given you all the tools to do this alone, and really they work. They're very powerful tools if you take the time to sit down and work through it. This is a conscious way of shifting subconscious beliefs, and it's a little bit like it's possible. And if you're in a bind right now financially, you're not in a position to invest with somebody to do this kind of work that I'm offering, then you have got the tools to do this alone. And I'd really love for you to do that. I'd love for you to make that commitment with yourself. You know, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel like you deserve the thing you want, and figure out what's stopping you from having it. I want that for you so badly. And you know what? I want it for you so badly that I'd love to help you to do it faster. I'd really love for you to get that thing, that really stretched vision that you maybe considered right back at the beginning. Like, what would you do if there was no limitation? Who would you be if there was no limitation? How would you show up? What would you do? What would you be? What would you have if you were completely free from all limitation? I want you to have that. I want you to be that. I want the world to see you and be inspired by you in your full expression of who you are. So I'd love to invite you to book yourself a complimentary, life-changing coaching call. I call these the You Can Change the World 45-minute coaching call, because really, look at what Heidi said. Seriously blown away by the impact of just one session with Betty. I'm not kidding when I tell you I think that session changed my life. And I don't doubt that, because it's not about me, it's about the questions I ask and the process that you go through as a result. Anybody could ask these questions. It doesn't make me special. Anybody could ask these questions. You could ask them to yourself if you take the time and you sit down and you actually do it. But like, let's face it, how many of us actually do that when we're on our own? So please, this is my gift for you. This is free, no strings attached. If at the end of the 45 minutes, you are intrigued to hear more about working with me one-to-one, I would be delighted, but I'm not going to push it. I don't want anybody to feel, I don't want to work with anyone who doesn't want to work with me. But this is a gift from me to you with no strings attached. So you can scan this QR code to get the link to book it. And really here it says, discover the magic in being witnessed, speaking your greatest ambition aloud, giving a voice to that little secret maybe that you feel a bit scared to even voice because it feels too big or too scary. I want you to acknowledge it, because it's there for a reason. You have got that inspiration within you because you're capable of achieving it. And I would love to be there in your corner cheering you on. So please, I would love for you to take me up on my offer here. Put this picture over here. Yeah, and get clear on your unique gifts and talents, how you serve the world, how you can make a difference. You can change the world. I believe that each and every one of us is in fact changing the world, whether for good or for worse, you know, for better or worse. Every little thing we do or even think ripples out and will impact another human being, another person, another animal, the environment. You know, so we might, as far as I'm concerned, I have a responsibility to be happy. When I go to the supermarket and I show up in my full vibrancy, that has a ripple effect. You know, it affects the cashier. Maybe I influence her so her day feels brighter. Maybe she'll influence every single person in that line. You see how this works? and Google the butterfly effect. This idea that one flap of a butterfly's wings on one side of the world, when it with the power of amplification and when that kind of snowballs, that it can cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. So you see, we never really know the impact of how we are as human beings, how we're showing up. And it's not too much to say that each one of us can change the world, because we are already. We really are. By changing our family. You know, when you're in a bad mood, the whole family feels it, right? I know you've experienced that. Or vice versa, when maybe someone else is in a bad mood. You feel it. You feel it. You're sensitive human beings. So yeah, here's my gift to you. Please take me up on this this offer. I'm going to get the link for you and put it in the chat. And if you've got any questions, now is the time to ask, or any insight. Please tell me, what has been your biggest insight? I'd love to hear. Thank you, Joanna. It's been so lovely learning and spending time with you today. Likewise, thank you for coming. Does anybody have a question for me or any comment? What did you get from this? I'd love to hear. Well, I just get this link for you. So inspiring. Thank you. What are you going to, who wants to share what they're manifesting? What are you working on? What's your secret way that you will change the world? I'm just grabbing that link for you. I'll put it in the chat in case you couldn't scan it. So here's the link, is in the chat. Please do take me up on it. I'd love to get to hear about you one-to-one, so I can really hear about you and support you in expressing your vision for how you can make a difference. And you absolutely can, and I believe in you. So I'll take it that there are no questions. Nobody's saying anything. So thank you so much for being here with me. You're going to do the checklist that Lindsay did. See how you're doing. Good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know, Irene, how you get on. I'd be fascinated to hear. And it's been a real pleasure to have you here with me. Thank you so much for coming. And please take me up on my offer. Booking the call. 45 minutes is my time. I'm giving it to you as a gift. And it's not a sales pitch. It really is 45 minutes of coaching for you. And if at the end you want to ask me about working with me, then that's up to you. Okay? So please take me up on the offer. All right. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here with me. It's been an absolute treat. Please take it, and it's my wish that something, just one thing from what we've spoken about today, you'll take and you'll roll with, and you'll really make it happen, and discover any obstacles that might be in the way, any hurdles, and that I know that you're going to get there. I know you're going to achieve this vision. So let's all just imagine all of ourselves here on the call, and anybody watching the recording later, really just imagine, send an intention that all of us achieve the thing that's placed in our heart. I know you can do it. I believe in you all. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you very much. Goodbye.